Hey podcast, welcome back to another episode. Now today we've got Chris from Odyssey Activewear on. Now you may have noticed before the MTB Fitness jerseys, they come direct from Odyssey Activewear, they're wicked products. So Chris has got a really interesting story all about how he started his brand from literally just a concept up to having all sorts of products that fly off the shelves to mountain bikers all over. So we talk a load about how he started Odyssey and how it's grown and essentially how he took it from just an idea to a business that, you know, he now runs full time. We go all about that. Talk about cars and his fancy new truck that's currently parked on the drive and all sorts more. So I hope you really, really enjoy the episode. Without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome in. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So I've just noticed there's an absolutely huge truck parked up on the drive. So for those watching on YouTube, that way, I don't know why I'm looking that way. For those watching on YouTube, I'll put a picture up for it, but tell us all about it.
I'll send you plenty of pictures.
Yeah, I bet you got loads on you.
Yeah.
With the AI backgrounds as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So for those who don't know, you rocked up with a truck that was not kitted out in any way. And then since I've last seen it, it's had a complete transformation, hasn't it? So tell us about it. Why did you get one? What have you done to it?
Yeah, this is the Odyssey truck. So I've always, as you know, I'm into cars. One of our shared interests. I've always fancied doing a truck, and I've kind of used Odyssey Activewear as an excuse to do one. So it's paid for by business as a commercial vehicle, and then it was one of the cheapest Ford Rangers I could find at the time, because I'd got the plans of completely transforming it with, you know, big off-road suspension, big knobbly tires, a Raptor style body kit, and a full respray in what's called Raptor paint, which is like this an indestructible textured paintwork. So I've also got a Ford Mustang, which is kind of like always been my baby, and the idea was to make this completely opposite to the Mustang. So with Mustang, I'm always wanting to keep it clean and worried about speed bumps and where to park it and curbs. And this is like, I'm definitely not bothered about speed bumps and curbs. And
I think you probably seek them out, don't you? So you can send it.
Oh yeah. In fact, there's another video I could send you.
I saw that on Facebook.
A mini roundabout. We went flying over a mini roundabout accidentally on purpose.
So what have you actually done to the truck then? So for those who aren't absolute petrol heads and don't fully understand the ins and outs of suspension and techno, what have you actually done to the truck then? So why is your truck different to one that you can just go into a shop and buy?
So suspension's all uprated. So it's like Pedder's track rider suspension all round.
So what does it mean that it's uprated?
So it's just more capable of these particular Pedder's track riders got these like foam cell inserts. So as the oil inside's moving around as the suspension's compressing and extending it, a bit like, I guess, a lot of the mountain bike suspension. It's just uprated a bit to deal with bumps and off-road stuff, as opposed to, I mean, pickup trucks have slightly uprated suspension compared to like a road car anyway.
Yeah.
But this is next level, you know, for a bit more off-road focused.
Right.
So it's a lot more, bouncier and can absorb bumps a little bit better.
Yeah, got you. Does it actually give it more travel then? Is it now higher off the ground, or is it the same?
Yes, so it's raised as well. So it's just under a 2-inch lift.
Right.
So with like the sports cars and Mustang, we're aiming for reducing that gap between.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going the other way.
Gap. Yeah, this has gone the other way.
Oh, nice. No, it looks cool. And you've put all the kit on it as well, haven't you, front and back? So
yeah, so it's like so it's the Ranger Raptor top spec Ford Ranger that you can buy from Ford. This is like a knockoff kit, which is replacement wings, which is like 3-inch wider each side.
Right, okay, got you.
So just like a kind of big, chunky, wide arch kit.
Yeah. And your thing is cool, isn't it? Do you call it the boot? What's the back called?
So like the canopy, so that's like a steel canopy. It just looks a bit more rugged and overland style. It makes the bed a bit more practical because it's all contained, and you can actually make use of the height without then having to strap things down and it all being exposed to, you know, to elements and rain.
Yeah. No, it looks absolutely perfect. I think it's ideal as well being able to actually put your bike in the back, isn't it? Because a lot of trucks, I mean, yours was like that when you came over, wasn't it? You had to hook the front wheel over the back.
Yeah, so I mean, I could either do that way, hook it over the bike, or I could just about fit it in and have it strapped down upright.
Yeah.
But like say the amount of time it takes to strap it down, and then it's still exposed to all rain. You can't really leave it anywhere. So yeah, this is a lot more contained and
it's a lot better for going into service stations as well, isn't it, on the motorway?
Yeah, exactly. I
used to, because with the first car that I had a roof rack on, I used to put the bike on the top, and then I used to use sofas as well to go out and about. And I think we had 3 occasions where we thought we were about to get mugged. So it was like 2 bikes. There was one occasion we were in a service station. We'd kept the bikes on the top. My mate had actually stayed out with the bikes. I went into the toilet and then we switched. And as I came out, there were 3 lads kind of talking to him, shall we say. And they were like definitely eyeing him up, ready to like jump him to go for the bike. So there was that once. We once got followed into the petrol station. We'd actually taken the bikes off the roof, went in for a Costa, and this lad came over to us and he was pretending he was a mountain biker, but very clearly knew nothing about bikes. And in the end, I left Ozzy inside with the bikes and I just pulled my car right to the front and did it like at the entrance because he was definitely like something dodgy. So it's much better being in the back, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, especially these days with bike thefts, they're, rampant, aren't they? So you've just got to be careful. If you haven't got them on a bike rack and they're exposed, people can easily follow you to where you live. Yeah. And they know where that bike's kept. And or likewise, if you're on way to, a bike park, you're staying over somewhere, they know that there's probably going to be a bike in back of that van, and they're not difficult to break into. So it's because it happens at all the big events, doesn't it? That I think even like Hard Rock last time we were there last year, there were a few vans broken into. Not even where they were just outside, like actually vans broken into, I believe, and then nicked out the back of there. Yeah. Crazy in such like a public place. But now I put my bike in the back of my car now, and it's all tinted windows. It's so much better. It's a bit of a squeeze to get it in, but no one can see it then, so I can quite happily go to a service station, go and get some food, and I'm perfectly relaxed my bike in the back, because unless you really go through the front window and look in, you've got no idea there's a bike in. Last place you'd expect to find one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just fits. It's like a parcel shelf, parcel box through the back. That's cool though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, but like some Mustang's been neglected a bit since.
Yeah. Do you take it out much, the Mustang?
I haven't done over the last few months because I've been playing with this too much. Plus, as it's coming into winter, it's kind of prime time for it. I'm looking forward to some snow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do need to get back into driving my Mustang, because you work out how much tax you're paying per year, divide that by 12 plus insurance. You think I'm paying hundreds of quid,
per drive,
per month just for a drive.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think as well at this time of year, the Mustang's probably not ideal, is it? With the how has it got? About 400?
Sorry again.
What horsepower? Is it
probably just depend. Probably just under 500 if.
Oh wow!
Well, that's inflated slightly. It depends how you work out the fly figure to the wheels. What sort of calculation you use, but
I got you.
How much of an ego stroking calculation? 15-20%.
It's a lot though to the rear wheels. On big fat rear wheels in this kind of weather.
Yeah, and Mustangs are kind of renowned for stepping out in wet conditions.
Many of those videos, isn't there?
Yeah.
This car's the first 4-wheel drive I've got, and it's so much better in this kind of weather, because even if you're just overtaking now, you can pull out, plant your foot as much as you need to, but it just goes in a straight line. Whereas in the past, it was all kind of like manual gear, like flipping the panels, making sure it's a perfect gear, really gently doing it. Because if not, if you just planted your foot, like the back end's going all over the place. So you've got a really nice mix there, because you can enjoy the Mustang when the weather's dry, and then just take this out the rest of the time, can't you?
Yeah.
So Odyssey Activewear. So for those who haven't heard of Odyssey, you make absolute great clothes, don't you?
I think so.
I think it'd be really cool to go right back to the beginning. I don't think I actually know this story anyway. Right, so I wanted to know how it started, why it started. Did you start doing it with the intention of growing it to where it is now? Like, how did it all begin?
Absolutely not. No, it depends how far we go back. So I'm probably known from this podcast, I'm probably known for being the owner of Odyssey Activewear, but my main line of work is actually my Spoon Graphics website and YouTube channel,
which is graphic design.
Yeah, so I've always been a designer, and that's kind of led on to the Odyssey Activewear, just because it's one of the designs that I'd made. It were a camo pattern, and I thought, that looked quite good as a mountain biking jersey, so I mocked it up, and then that's how Odyssey Activewear came about. But depending how far you go back to, then for start of Spoon Graphics, which is what led the whole the whole timeline for it. But so it's one of the camo patterns that I've made for a tutorial on YouTube, and like I said, I thought, that looked quite good as a mountain biking jersey, just for myself. So I mocked it up and thought, that looks quite nice. I'll try and find somewhere just to get that made for myself. So I've got AliExpress, managed to get a cheapo jersey made, And then I thought, I'll see what all these other designs look like. I've got a full collection of designs that look quite nice. So I thought, I'll try and find a better supplier that can make some better quality jerseys based on these designs. And then I ended up getting loads of designs made. I thought, I might have to see if I can sell these and set up a little shop. And then one thing led to another. And
So originally you were doing it just because you literally just wanted to wear the clothes and thought, oh, these will look cool.
yeah, because I just thought, it was my own camo pattern, so I thought that'd be quite nice, as opposed to trying to find some sort of camo jersey, which there are a handful around, but they're none of them quite what I had in mind for myself.
Okay.
So I thought I'll just try and get my own one custom made.
That's really cool. So when you say you set up a shop, then what did you actually do? So
I also used it as an opportunity to play around with Shopify, because I'd always always known about Shopify just from doing all various web things that I'd done, but never actually used it. So I thought, it's just a chance to play around with that and get used to building a theme and stuff.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Shopify is, how would you even class it? An e-commerce platform?
Yeah,
is
it's
that the
pretty
right
much
phrase?
like the biggest e-commerce platform.
Yeah. And it's huge now. Like, you won't even realize when you're shopping on a Shopify website, but the vast majority, or a hell of a lot of online businesses now, are hosted through Shopify. Massive ones, aren't they? Like Gymshark.
Even Louis Vuitton.
Oh, really?
Louis Vuitton websites.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's the biggest names then, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then it's right down to complete and utter beginners. So I think the entry level package is free, I think, is it?
I think it's been a while now, but I think there's a free trial that you can have it for so long.
Yeah, but then it's not expensive after that, is it? For a beginner?
No, it's not too
20
bad.
quid or something like that a month.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend hundreds of pounds a month, do you? And you can build it all yourself, can't you? So website's really easy to do. Yeah, so carry on. So you set up the Shopify website.
And then just launched it, and it started off with just friends picking up a few things, and then I started playing around with Facebook ads, and then it started picking up, and then it's just like progressively got bigger and bigger.
So selling to your friends and family obviously feels cool, doesn't it? What did it feel like when you got that first sale and you had absolutely no idea who they were or where they'd come from? Was that direct from your Facebook ad, I presume?
Yes, I think so, because back when I first started playing with the Facebook ads, we were like just at the end of the golden age of Facebook ads before the iOS change came in, which then limited the amount of data that Facebook could see from the users. So then the performance kind of dropped a little bit. But back then it would bring in quite a decent number of sales for quite a low price as well. Whereas these days I'm having to spend a fortune.
Yeah, is there a big difference? So for those who aren't in this world at all, so Facebook ads, you can essentially, anybody can just sign up now on Facebook for Facebook ads, and you can run ads to anybody, and you can target them, can't you?
Yeah.
So it used to be, if we say, when was it, about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, well, pretty much when I started around 2020, 2021.
Okay, so before that, Facebook basically used to have no kind of, there were no limits, were there, to the information they could get, essentially?
More or less, yeah. So, Facebook knows everything about us anyway. Just for most of us have had Facebook accounts, some people for their entire lives. So they know when, everything you're liking, you're looking at, different topics and things. Even now, because what's called the Facebook Pixel is what websites put on their website to then be able to track Facebook users on. So not only on Facebook, so on all these other websites that have got some sort of shop. Facebook knows what you're browsing, who your friends are, who you're connected to, what you're talking about on Messenger. So we've all experienced those moments where you're talking to someone about something, then next minute you've got an ad on your phone, like, I'm listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah. But it has meant that for people like me and you, it makes it incredibly easy to reach the right people.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
The plus side of it is that you're getting ads targeted to your interests.
Yeah.
The kind of shady or negative side of it in terms of like privacy and data is that people are sharing unknowingly all this information, which is why then iOS Apple cracked down on what they're allowed to share from the devices, which is good in a way, but obviously for people selling stuff
it's not so great,
and businesses it meant that it were a lot harder. But as a result, it's meant that pre 2020 you often got a lot of like drop shipping companies and people selling maybe substandard products because they could easily sell things on
mass
Facebook
and not worry about repeat custom.
Yeah, so it's so easy to sell things because of the Facebook could target people based on interest, and it could, I don't know if anyone can think back to things that you used to see on Facebook, all sorts of ads for all kinds of things, whereas now it's probably things that you're more interested in, because the cost of Facebook ads these days is a lot higher, than it kind of puts that barrier to entry. So
yeah, that makes sense. You've got to have a business that is actually, so that's kind of good in a way, isn't it? Because
it's more difficult, but then I guess it's good overall.
Yeah, you would hope that maybe the better businesses then advertising on social media, the better as in the ones who produce a better product and they can afford to do it because they do a good service, rather than the people who are just pumping out terrible products and hoping for results.
Yeah, exactly.
So what did that first sale that you got? Do you remember your first sale that you got?
I can't. The very first one I think was my friend's dad.
Oh, really?
But the one that always springs to mind is Ben from We Ride.
Oh,
I think
he was on
in the previous
last
episode.
Week. Yeah, last week or the week before he was there. Was it last week? I think it was last week.
So I'm still looking forward to meeting him, just to give him a thank you in person. But he was one of the first, within the first like 100 or so orders. One of the first people that you don't know from that stood out, because he obviously a bike coach and like that. So his like profile stood out to me, and he also sent some pictures of him in the jersey as well, which was nice.
What did that feel like, seeing people for the first time in your jersey?
Oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's from a designer's perspective, it's always nice to see your own work out there in the real world. So seeing people wearing it and sending pictures in is really cool.
Yeah. I remember the first, because we've done I think 3 or 4 runs of jerseys. We're going to be doing another one in about a month as well for those listening. I remember, when we did our first run of jerseys, it was really cool, the fact that just people would want to wear a jersey that had a big MTB Fitness logo on it. But then I went to a race, and I remember a guy riding past me in an MTB Fitness jersey. I remember thinking, like, he's wearing the jersey. No, it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, even going back to my Spoon Graphics stuff, I mean, that's probably bigger than Odyssey in a way. Just because it's sheer number of years that I've done it, but I've seen my work appear in all sorts of places.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've now put on the spot trying to think of any, but
yeah.
But some big brands using even just like little assets and things.
Okay.
Like I've always like shared like free resources, so I can kind of spot little things. In fact, Nuke Proof, one of their t-shirt designs, I think a year or so ago, based on one of my design tutorials.
Oh, amazing. That's really cool. So some designer somewhere at Nuke Proof has been watching your stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Whoa, that's really cool. Oh, nice. It's funny when you see, obviously, as you know, I share a lot of content on social media, and it's always nice when people share it. Occasionally, people will just save a photo and repost it, which is fine, they can do. Always winds me up when they cut my logo off.
Oh, yeah.
That bugs me. They'll take a quote and then crop my logo off the bottom and then share it as their own. I'm like, really? But it is always cool when you're scrolling through in a Facebook group and then somebody shared one of your posts in there. It's like, that was me. We had, I remember, because when I set up MTB Fitness, yours probably started, you were selling right from the beginning almost. So you got all the jerseys and you're like, well, I may as well sell some of these.
Yeah.
When I started MTB Fitness, there was a period of about 18 months where I didn't sell any products. So it was just putting out free content. And then about 6 to 9 months in, I'd built an audience of about 10,000 people on Facebook through Facebook ads, just like you did.
Yeah.
And I was getting more and more people saying, you really need to do a training program, because I want to buy a training program from you, but you don't sell anything, which was obviously the plan. And I remember the first night I launched that. So I'd gone from obviously selling nothing, and I'd put about 18 months into it. I'd spent about $5,000 of my own money over that period into like advertising. And I built the product. I was like, right, I need to launch it now. I just hope people A, buy it, and B, really enjoy it. And I remember I was sat at home at about 7 p.m. Sophie was out, and launching it, and then my phone just doing the, like, for those who don't have a Shopify account, when you have your phone on, it makes like a cash register noise. So it's like cha-ching, cha-ching. And I remember setting it up, turning my phone to full volume, and then it was just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It was amazing. It gives me goosebumps now.
I mean, that's our little family. That you no doubt people have seen the thing about like small businesses are when they get a sale, they do the like the little dance kind of thing. That's our little. My phone goes cha-ching and all everyone cha-ching.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling, isn't it? Yeah.
Even like my daughter, even my young son is like 2 3/4 now, and he started going cha-ching.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's nice that
If Sophie's mum's asking how MTB Fitness is going or if work going, she doesn't say that. She says, "Are you still dinging?" Yeah, still dinging, Julie. No, it's really cool. But I don't think that first month of sales or that first couple of days of sales, obviously I do way more sales now. And if I do any kind of launch, you get way more now than I did then. But I don't think the buzz will ever be as much as that first one, because that was kind of like 18 months of just building and crossing your fingers and hoping and wanting to build obviously a good product. And that first night was just incredible when like people were buying it, and then emails started coming in being like, "Oh, I'm really enjoying it. It's great." So yeah, it's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my Spoon Graphics business is probably very similar to MTB Fitness in a way, because that's kind of like the same thing where it's all about giving out free content, and then I monetized it by having advertisements, but and then eventually started selling some digital products. But yeah, that's like kind of the similar sort of thing. So that's kind of all built up to Odyssey in a way, because of just getting experience of building websites and things like that.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think you have to start somewhere, don't you? I remember the first website I created, it was terrible, as it was always going to be. I was a personal trainer at the time and set up an online business, and it was specifically weight loss for women at the time, because most of my in-person clients at the time, 10 years ago, were female. And I found that I just kind of like, well, not necessarily was more successful with them, but I just bounced off them a little bit better originally. So I set up that business. I was thinking of names and came up with the name Lighter Ladies, which makes me cringe looking back because it's just a horrendous name. And I spent a good month doing this website, and it was on WordPress, I think, at the time. And I did it almost like, like a newspaper front website where you've got loads of stuff on it. And I remember it took something like 90 seconds to load the first page. Like it'd take forever, and I did so much on it. So it's come a long way since then. So for various reasons, that didn't work out. I had that kind of first business that flopped, and then after that it was when I set up MTB Fitness. But I think you've got to have those initial fails, haven't you, for the second one to be successful?
Yeah, well, whether it's well, definitely won't call it a fail, but it's Spoon Graphics. It's probably because I rode the wave of design blogs. I set that up just it was 2007, and that was when all these websites were springing up called blogs, and in design community in particular.
Okay.
So it kind of rode the wave of that. Peaked in like 2012, and then it's been on a gradual decline since. Just as Google's. I mean, back when I first started, Pinterest didn't exist, Instagram didn't exist, and just as kind of it got quite a few good search rankings for various topics, but then as Google's changed its algorithms and things, it's kind of traffic's declined. Used to get a lot of traffic from like Stumble Upon, which doesn't exist anymore. So as that's declined. I mean, I set up the YouTube channel in around about 2010, and that's continued to grow. But then I've kind of been neglecting it since I started Odyssey, which I shouldn't do really, because it's still meant to be my main line of work.
Okay. So when you set up Odyssey, am I right in thinking that your full-time job then, in inverted commas, was, for people who don't have real job cycles, was Spoon Graphics then, is that right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't client work at the time, that was purely just selling your assets online?
Yeah, so it was basically just creating content, design tutorials for YouTube.
Right.
And
so you were a YouTuber then, weren't you? Then?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
still am to a certain.
Yeah, it's funny because my daughter's in primary school, and obviously everyone in her class all wants to be a YouTuber when they grow up. And I said to her, "I bet you didn't know your dad is a YouTuber." She said, "What? No, you're a YouTuber." So I showed him a YouTube channel. Oh.
Yeah, that's boring though.
No, that kind of YouTuber.
Because you had a gaming channel, didn't you?
Once upon a time, channel. Yeah. Oh, I've done all sorts.
Yeah.
But again, that's all added to the experience. It's kind of like you've seen movies Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
It's the way all like life experiences all tie into like winning this contest. But even doing the gaming channel, that kind of gave me a bit of like experience talking to microphone and video editing, which then led on to me creating the Spoon Graphics YouTube channel for creating design tutorials, which has then led on to being able to do the ads and presentation videos for Odyssey. So
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It all has that knock on, doesn't it?
Mm.
I know when I used to be a gamer when I was, a teenager.
Mm.
So probably from the age of, being a kid through till about 16, 17, 18, something like that. I used to be like an avid gamer. So I used to get home from school, shut my curtains and then just game all night. And I got really into building my own computers and doing all like the editing and stuff. And then overclocking your graphics card
Oh,
for
yeah.
the absolute geeks out there, doing all that kind of jazz. And you have no idea at the time, but that built the foundations to now having an online business
Oh, yeah.
because I'm totally in my element if I'm just on my own in a room on my laptop. And I think it's learning how to problem solve. A lot of like having an online business and building on Shopify is problem solving and figuring out how to, you'll get a problem. How do I solve this? And you don't realize at the time, do you, that all those foundations are building you use it in future without having a clue at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like back when I did client work, I used to build websites, all that HTML, CSS is then still come in handy. I mean, it's a bit rusty these days, but I can kind of, a few late nights, can finally figure out how to make something work on an Odyssey website or whatever I'm needing to do.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's wicked. So do you what's your split now at the minute time-wise? So are you like 90% do you work on Odyssey, or do you still do a lot of work with Spoon Graphics?
Well, at moments it's pretty much 100% Odyssey and
Is it?
zero
That just
Spoon
ticks
Graphics.
along in the background.
Yeah, well, it is ticking over, but I should really, because that's what's bringing in money. But thankfully, it's just ticking over on its own. But it's just thing is with creativity, it's like you got to kind of follow what your interest and passion is at that moment, and it's kind of. I know I've got to put more time into Spoon Graphics, but at the moment I'm enjoying playing with Odyssey.
Although you say playing with it, but it's pretty big.
Well,
now,
yeah,
isn't it?
I suppose. I think, like I was saying, Spoon Graphics is on slow decline. So I think for future potential, I think Odyssey has probably got more potential to grow bigger. I mean, Odyssey's bringing in twice the turnover than Spoon Graphics, but because Spoon Graphics there's hardly any outgoings. That the profits. What's left over is a lot higher than what Odyssey is.
Yeah, got you.
So it's but if I continue to grow Odyssey, because I think it has got that potential to get bigger and bigger. I'm just in that stage at the moment of trying to, work out what I should do.
Yeah, of course. So do you want to grow? Do you have a vision of where you want Odyssey to go, or are you just really do you kind of think long term with it, or do you just think I need to do some pants, or I want to do some pants?
Yeah, well, I've never had a plan with it. It's just been just whatever takes my interest at time. A lot of new products have just been basically what I needed myself.
Okay.
So I'll end up designing something that kind of fits my criteria of what I kind of want out to. Like say some riding pants or something, and then just get samples made and get a few hundred pairs made, and then I've got if they fail, then at least I've got my Christmas present sorted for the next 300 years.
That's really cool because you've made a lot. You've done jerseys, haven't you?
Yeah, so I started with jerseys.
Yeah,
that were because it was based on design. It were all my graphic. A lot of them actually came from tutorials from my Spoon Graphics YouTube channel. So it's kind of a little nugget of information. Like I say, it started with the camo pattern. I'd done a tutorial and I had to make a camo pattern. Yeah. And then thought, oh, that was quite nice. I'll make some camo patterns and put them on jerseys.
Right. Okay.
And then
on that note, sorry to interrupt you. We'll come back to that. But your jerseys, the reason I actually chose in inverted commas you to do my jerseys originally was because I bought one of your jerseys and they're really, really nice. I'm not just saying, at the time I didn't know Chris and I didn't work with him. I just bought one of your jerseys off your website and they're really, really soft, which I love. And they stay soft as well. So I've got jerseys which have had 100 washes from me and they still feel really soft now, even when they did at the beginning. I don't use any softening stuff because you don't want to wreck your riding gear. And I remember the fit's really nice as well. So the perfect length, they're just a really nice jersey. And they're not cheap, are they? No mountain bike gear is cheap, but compared to a Fox jersey, which is what, 75 quid or something, like they're a lot cheaper than that, and they're as good, if not better quality, in my opinion. Which is why I reached out to you at the time to do the MTB Fitness jerseys, because they're basically the exact same jerseys you can buy off your website, MTB Fitness branded, aren't they? Sorry, carry on.
No, well, I mean, to go down that avenue as well, it's funny because I think if you might remember, I didn't like shun you or anything, but I kind of said that I weren't really taking on any custom work. But then I did eventually, and I'm glad I did, because it led to a nice friendship and and everything. I had a few rides together. But at the time, it was because I'd come out of doing client work from all my design stuff, because I'd managed to grow Swing Graphics and live off ad revenue. So I managed to get rid of client work, and then I found myself getting back into client work through Odyssey by doing custom jerseys, and I didn't want to really get back into doing.
Got you.
You know, I like just doing my own thing as opposed to doing things for other people. But I did and really enjoy doing yours. I think actually, because I'd come up with the M logo. I'd kind of think, oh, that looked really good if it like kind of wrapped around the body. Do you remember I sent you a mock-up picture? I just kind of like made it out of paper and stuck it to myself.
Yes, you did. I
took
forgot
a picture
about
in
that.
mirror to show you how it is.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. Yeah, because at the time I was like, I want jerseys, but I have no idea what I want. So you just go wild. Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, so that were I really enjoyed doing that, because like with design, it's like kind of coming up with like a concept that kind of fits the purpose and portrays like a brand a certain way and things. So I quite really enjoyed doing that one.
Yeah. No, they look really cool. So you did the jerseys, and then what was the start of Odyssey, wasn't it?
What started it, yeah.
Started the momentum.
And then a lot of Facebook comments saying, "Oh, can you do shorts?" So then thought, oh, I'll look into getting some shorts made. And then it's at the time it was the manufacturer that did the jerseys weren't really mountain biking specific. So in fact, that was another idea behind the brand. It's become primarily mountain biking, but the idea was just kind of make it a general all-round outdoorsy brand, because I've always been into mountain biking, but I ended up getting out of it as you move on to cars and things. And then I got back into it in lockdown, like everyone. Got into cycling at that time, but then I needed all new gear, so I started wearing just the things that I got, all the outdoorsy base layers.
Okay.
So I thought, all these are basically the same as all these old mountain biking jerseys that I got.
Yeah.
All my old ones are all these garish designs, whereas these are all plain colours. And that was kind of the thing where I thought I'll make some, because it's the same fabric, and that kind of fabric then transcends to all other kind of disciplines as well. It's basically the same material that are used for all different, even like normal fitness wear.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll put some designs on things that are kind of that would cover various disciplines.
I'm with you.
Because like with the outdoorsy brand, you don't tend to see like very graphical camo designs in outdoorsy shops, but in mountain biking scene, you often see them with big logos and things put all over them. So kind of thought I'll make a cross between something like that. So
that makes sense. And actually, that was probably, clearly that was a good bet. But I think mountain biking gear nowadays is more subtle, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I've got some wild jerseys upstairs that are like a mix of green, blue, pink, and everything, just all dotted all over. But they were almost all like that, weren't they? Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas now you do get a lot more subtle, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's also as different fabrics are coming into play, because the jerseys I make are all printed with the different designs, whereas a lot of companies are using, like dry fit, and obviously those fabrics are all just come in plain colors anyway.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it depends on, that's kind of an avenue I'm kind of going down as well. So I started with basing it on designs in graphical designs, but now I'm kind of getting more into design as in like fabrics and textures and things like that. So,
right. Okay.
And that's how the shorts and trousers came about. They're not graphical designs. They're more designs on like cut and using like the abrasion resistant panels on knees and things like that. Yeah. So
how many iterations do you have to go through when you're designing something like new pants? Do you just get it right first time, or?
I'd done a sketch on what I wanted, and then started looking for different manufacturers who could make those kind of things. I tried one manufacturer, got a sample made, and it kind of didn't really. It was good, but it didn't really fit what I wanted from it. And then I tried another one, and they were a lot closer to what I wanted. And then that's the one I've gone with, and I've been using them since for trousers and potentially other products as well, because it's a factory that does make various bits of cycling gear. So the shorts came next, and then the trousers were a natural next step from that. I used the same foundation of the shorts, but then extended
Add at
legs.
the bottom.
Shorts with longer legs.
Yeah.
But an idea for them was that a lot of mountain biking trousers, even on the World Cup scene, you notice that they're quite short in leg, and also from the research, I also found loads of forums of people who wanted a longer one, tall and thin, who wanted longer legs.
Why are they short? Because mine are the same. They ride up a little bit, but I wear waterproof socks. Sorry if I just banned the mic for those listening. If you're driving along and got a massive shock, because I wear the pants that I've always worn. They do ride up a little bit, but I have waterproof socks underneath. So never really find it's an issue. But you're right, they don't seem to be as long as even the pants I've got on now.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know whether it's just because, I mean, I don't know for the bigger brands and things, whether they just have off-the-shelf things made or whether they do actually design things. So whether they just take the sizing that things are available in. I don't know, or whether they don't take into consideration when you're on your bike, your legs bend, and obviously when you bend your leg, your trouser rides up past your sock. But even on World Cup scene, you often see them, they look like the trousers are too short because the socks are exposed. So that was something I particularly wanted to do with the trousers, is add a couple of extra inches onto the leg length.
Right, okay. And have you had good feedback for that then?
Maybe in some cases saying that legs are too long, but but I think it's probably best being too long, because all you get then is just some stacking as opposed to being too short.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's better just being too long, and then because they're cuffed, aren't they, at the bottom, I presume, anyway. So it's not like they're baggy and they're going to go over your shoes or whatever.
Yeah, and it's funny because I take a short leg anyway, so I've designed trousers that are too long for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's amazing. So do you have any kind of hurdles? Because you're just saying, oh yeah, I wanted some of my own clothes, so I just made them. So for you, that's normal. For the vast majority of people listening to this, the thought of just creating and getting a manufacturer and doing your own clothes is wild. Did you have any kind of hurdle to get over it?
Well, yeah, pretty much every step of the way, because I had no idea how to do it all. I just I just kind of set up this thing and just started Googling and figuring things out, and like pretty much I've just blindly finding my way around how to do things. And even just learning different, like, not sewing as in like actually me sewing things, but learning about how things are made and clothing patterns and things, and even just like studying the like say with the jersey. So I got their jersey template, and it's sent over in a vector format. So obviously all my experience as a designer using Adobe Illustrator, I could open that file and tweak these things here and make that sleeve length a bit longer and make it, customize it to exactly how I wanted it, and extend that that rear hem just to give it that extra length on bike.
Yeah,
I could do all those things myself using this template, as opposed to trying to convey what I wanted
to them
via an email or by a chat. So that really helped. But then I'm kind of like modifying this template and thinking, am I going to completely mess this up? So then I'm like researching, watching YouTube videos and how dressmaking and how clothing patterns are made, just to make sure that I'm doing this in right way. And so I've learned things in that sense. So that's kind of given me ability then to kind of make slightly more custom, clothing and designs and things.
Yeah. It's wild, isn't it? Just to go from, I mean, anybody who has their own business has kind of done something like that, haven't they? But to just research it and do it all yourself is wicked.
No, thanks.
You've had some disasters is the wrong word. You'll know what I mean. When you've had, I know recently you had a big shipment, didn't you, getting delivered, and then that will just get dissipated. Just got delivered to Amazon. So it was, is that right? And then you can't get it back. But it's happened before, hasn't it?
Well, the big one before that was when the trousers were first launched. The shipment with UPS. Thanks, thanks for that. They just lost it. Well, not all of it, but a good portion of it. So some of the boxes arrived completely torn open, just everything exposed, and I knew that there were going to be some missing, counted them all, and they were like 60% of stock were missing.
Whoa.
And at the time, I should have realised, because I think it was like an 100 kilo shipment spread across 3 boxes.
Yeah.
And I remember I've got a clip on my CCTV camera at delivery driver carrying 2 boxes in at once. So it worked out like he's just carrying like 66 kilos.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then UPS kind of, he trying to ring out call centers and things and trying to get through, and just nothing came about of it. But thankfully, this manufacturer stepped up and replaced them.
That's good.
So that was like a good sign that's a trustworthy manufacturer to use. And then since then, they appeared on eBay.
Are you joking?
Well, some of them anyway.
Whoa.
Because there were a few signs. I mean, obviously, you think, well, maybe it's just customers who have
Branded.
It's sold as Odyssey Activewear mountain biking trousers.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Because we always stick a little sticker on the packaging before it's sent out. And one of these listings in particular, where they showed the packaging without the sticker, and also that there were multiple for sale, and they just happened to be the sizes that had gone missing.
Oh, that's terrible.
So, and they were sold. There were a couple for sale at two different sellers at different ends of the country. So how UPS managed to lose them, then how they managed to get from whichever UPS depot to people who had.
So what do you think happens then? Has happened?
I flagged them on eBay as like stolen goods.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've since gone, so they've either sold or been taken down.
Yeah.
But they were on there for a fair while. I mean, I weren't as bothered because
they've been replaced.
Yeah. But they were being sold for cheaper than what we got them as cost price.
Yeah, of course,
I was tempted to buy them. I didn't want to
I didn't want to support it.
Yeah, I didn't want.
Should have messaged them. Have you got any more of these? I'll come to your house and pick them up. It's fine.
I was even tempted because we've got like a little fans and customers Facebook group. I was even tempted to post them on there, just say, "Oh, did anyone want a bargain?"
Yeah.
But I thought that's probably not best.
To encourage them.
Yeah.
That's terrible though, that isn't it?
Oh,
and having the audacity to get all that free stuff and then sell it, like, that's
that were a nightmare. I mean, I was glad that I've never done any like pre-orders. Because I don't like the idea of taking people's money before actually having the physical things to sell. I'm glad that I never did. I mean, I always do like have like a waiting list, like a back in stock reminder. Yeah. So I'll get the numbers through that, and then obviously people get emailed when it's available. Yeah. But they've not put anything up front. So I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah.
And then since then it's happened again.
It happened last week, didn't it? Is that right?
Yeah. So it's the third time now. The second time, FedEx accidentally delivered it to Amazon warehouse by accident. Thankfully, I got that back a week or two later.
Oh, that's good.
But apparently, it happens quite often, as I've found out, because it's happened again. I think, because what they say is that when FedEx is sending things to Amazon, they just send the whole lorry load. Yeah. They have to drop the lorry off at Amazon's. I mean, anyone knew Amazon warehouse in Doncaster's massive. They have to just drop the lorry off at the gate. Amazon take it in, unload, pile everything off it, right, and then they give them lorry back a few weeks later. Right. So anything that's on that lorry that's maybe shouldn't be there, right, just gets lost in the depths of Amazon's.
Oh, that's awful. And then hopefully you get it back. So you get it back the second time. Hopefully you will now.
What this lady at FedEx was saying is that it does happen quite often, and what they do is they pile everything onto a pallet. Yeah. And after a month or so, they send it back to
back to UPS.
Back to FedEx, yeah. And then which time usually all the claims have been made. So then they just get returned to sender. But in my case, I'm like, well, when it does arrive, don't send it back to sender. Just please send it to me.
To you instead, yeah.
But I've been talking to him. So my sales rep, and he's said to him, if it does end up getting sent back to you, can you send it back to me again?
Oh, what a nightmare.
And then by the time it does finally arrive, hopefully it's still in one piece.
Yeah. I think this just kind of shows the other side of business, doesn't it? Because you have the romantic side, which is having these ideas and creating them, which is romantic and awesome. And then the other side of it is on the phone to UPS or whoever, for hours at a time, trying to track down thousands of pounds worth of goods.
Yeah. I mean, UPS, that were a nightmare. I'm never using UPS again. But also because of a few other occasions where just, personal parcels that I've sent have ended up arriving damaged and things. Yeah. But UPS in particular, call centers, you're sitting on hold for 20 minutes and you get cut off. And but like with FedEx, there's no telephone number for depot. But thankfully, it's only 20 minutes away in Rotherham, so I just turned up at their door.
That's better, isn't it? Yeah, and then you're going to be quick. Yeah, I'd rather do that. Yeah,
my parcel's lost. Can you help me?
Yeah. Did it help you as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's not easy to talk to someone in person because you're trying to talk to someone at the phone, they ain't got a clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? Yeah, and if you get somebody with a strong accent or whatever, and then you're trying to, I hate doing that kind of phone call. Yeah, speaking in person is way better. Yeah. So you've done glasses as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Cyclops glasses?
Yeah, so it's all that way. I'd quite like that name because it's based on Odyssey as in ancient Greek, and one of the stories of the ancient Greek Odyssey is the Cyclops monster, and the name Cyclops kind of fits in nicely to sunglasses with single lens.
Yeah. So
that were another quite early product. It's always been it's not a bestseller, but it's always been a decent decent performing product.
Yeah. So are the lenses in those, are they specific to sports or are they just tinted for the sun?
Yeah.
Or?
So an idea I had with that one is obviously you go to buy a pair of sunglasses and you get a selection of all different lens colors, well, usually all just based on looks. So you want a red one or you want a blue one. So I thought, because you can, when you're specking a lens, you can choose your different lens color, which is the tint that you see through, and then also the coating, which is the actual color of the lens, like the mirrored finish on it.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, why don't I make a riding glasses that comes with 3 different lenses, but each lens is designed with a specific purpose for different weather conditions. So I've spec'd the tint of the what I call lava red lens with like a brownish orange tint, which is good for bright sunlight because it helps with depth perception. And give that a red coating. Then I thought I'll make one for like cloudy conditions, which is a lighter tint in grey, because that helps with color reproduction in overcast conditions. And then obviously the clear lens for like nighttime. So that was the idea behind that. So you're getting, not only, you're not choosing your lens just based on what your favorite color is, but you're getting 3 lenses based on different lighting conditions.
Oh, that's great. And they do make a big difference as well, don't they?
Yeah. And I particularly like when finally we get a nice sunny day, that the tint, the orangey, browny orange tint of the red lens is really nice.
I used to, because I wear glasses now more often than not, to be honest. So I ride in prescription lenses. So I used to ride in Oakley Jawbreakers, I think they were, and I used a trail lens, and I used to love that because that was a certain tint, and it's supposed to make the roots and the rocks jump out from the trail more. And I remember thinking like, well, I'll get them anyway. Is it going to work? And it really does. Like, it really does, just like something to do with the contrast of it. It just makes them pop out more at you. And then when I got my last lot of prescription lenses, you could only get them in clear for the full one. I've literally just got a new pair that have come through now, which I've not worn, and they're smaller glasses, but they're all in the Prism Trail lens. So I'm excited to try those, but they make a real difference. I would be wearing yours if you did prescription.
Well, that's something I did want to add to it, like the little prescription insert, but it turned out that it weren't compatible with that frame, which is
that's a shame.
So I've had that in mind as, like, if I ever do a Cyclops V2, to make sure that I can get the prescription insert made.
Got you.
That fits with it. I think it's because it's like a modular frame and you can convert it from full frame to half frame. So I think as a result, then there's nowhere to connect this is it myopic frame or something? I can't remember the term for these prescription lens frames. But yeah, I mean and then I've since released a photochromic lens, which is really nice. Which kind of rolls out of the whole design concept that I've made, the 3 lenses for different lighting. Then you got one lens that just covers it all anyway.
So that goes light and dark, doesn't it, based on the conditions
itself. But that's just a regular grey tint as opposed to the fancy color tints of the other lenses. So there's still some purpose to them.
Because you have to be careful, don't you, with glasses? Because some people will just ride in normal glasses like these, but the lenses are actually glass, aren't they? So if they shatter, it can blind you. In my I'm pointing to my glasses now. If you're listening to my normal reading type glasses,
I think these days I think they are polycarbonate these days, but I mean the lenses are like, they're not properly impact resistant, as in like rated. Because I do get quite a lot. Because it's funny, like going back to the whole thing of Odyssey being like spanning different sports and interests and activities. I do get quite a lot of people who are interested in airsoft asking, can I use these for airsoft? And I always say they're not, while they are polycarbonate, they're not purposely rated. I won't want, because it's eyes you're talking about.
You don't want it
people,
going through,
don't want, because while they do wrap around as well, there is a gap. So I always said, no, it's not. I personally won't wear them for.
You need something specialist, don't you?
But that's tangent that I've gone off. I can't remember what we're talking about. But
no, it's all good. It's crazy the whole range of different uses, isn't it?
Yeah, it's and that's been another interesting part of it, because like mountain biking is like my primary interest, and whether that's the reason why it's ended up being pushed more into mountain biking being like the primary like audience. But it's been interesting seeing what sort of other interests people have got who using the clothing for. One in particular is the tech hoodie the guy sent me pictures of him using it for paragliding.
Oh wow.
So which I would have never designed it for paragliding, but it's interesting that it kind of covers different.
Yeah, is
different
that the one that
uses.
I've got, the tech hoodie?
Yes,
Zip. Yeah.
That's one of the now discontinued designs, but
Okay.
the dark camo
I'll have
ones.
to sell it on eBay then. Yeah, no, they're really nice. A really nice hoodie. That it's like I found it a nice thickness, not too thin but not too thick, because sometimes it can be really thick and then you're just absolutely boiling.
Yeah. So that's probably the best seller,
Right,
the dark
okay.
camo one. And then I tried the one that you've got, the transition one with the more subtle fade design.
Yeah.
But then the dark camo one just remained like overshadowed everything else. So I've since discontinued them to then focus on that camo design.
Got you.
So that's something else I've learned, just testing out different designs, and some turn out to be more popular than others. And
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can follow that then, can't you?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then since launched one, spotted a couple of Facebook comments. Oh, I wish this it'd be nice if it didn't have the hood. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll try launching one without a hood, just because that gives it a different purpose, because you can layer it a bit easier.
Yeah.
And but still the dark camo hoodies remained the
the best one.
Yeah.
The best
so whether
seller.
I'll discontinue that at one point, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of testing things and learning as I go. And
I know that's not a riding jacket, but I find most riding jackets that I try and get have all got hoods on. And I find it really irritating, because even if I ride when it's lashing it down, I ride with my hood down. I don't mind getting a wet head, it doesn't bother me. But the hood always winds me up on my jackets, because it flaps behind you.
Basically got a little parachute.
Yeah, I end up like tucking it into my jacket, but then it's not quite comfy enough.
Yeah.
Just side note.
Yeah,
They
I mean
always
that's
irritate me.
the dream is to do like a waterproof jacket.
Okay.
And I've got a couple of ideas for things because a lot of brands do helmet compatible hoods.
Yeah.
But so I've got a couple of ideas that kind of fit into that, and kind of, I mean, obviously a stowaway hood's a common thing that you get on jackets, but it's something that got some ideas floating around that gives it some unique features. I think that's kind of required to stand out against all the other brands of you get hundreds and hundreds of different jackets, and you're competing against big brands who can get them made a lot cheaper than what
well, of course,
what we can at small scale. So
yeah. So riding, you ride an e-bike, don't you?
Yeah.
So you had a break from riding, didn't you? And then got back into it.
Yeah.
Didn't have a bike, decided to get an e-bike. Is that right?
Yeah. So I've always been into biking right from childhood. Early 20s, that was probably like my prime era for biking. I had a Kona Stinky.
Yeah.
I used to go to Warncliffe a lot of times. I went did a couple of uplift weekends in Leithen and Glentress.
Yeah.
And then cars kind of took over. Sold my bikes after I'd kept holding them for a fair while, but just didn't ride them, so I sold them. And then fast forward to lockdown. My daughter had just started riding, and obviously we'd got all this family time. I needed a bike, so I got a cheapish hardtail, and started riding some local trails. That reminded me how much I still enjoy it, but not so much the uphills.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'd just sold my motorbike, so I thought, I'll use that money and buy a motorbike.
Yeah.
Usually people do it the other way around and sell the push bike to buy a motorbike, and I'd sold my motorbike to buy a push bike. So and then that's been a game changer. It's kind of ticks all the boxes, that all the enjoyment I get out of mountain biking without the effort of going up hills.
Yeah. They're becoming much more commonplace now, and you know my view on them. Have you had any personal abuse, shall we say, from people, or literally nothing?
No,
or?
not personally. I mean, not like you see on Facebook comments, not personally directed to me, but you always get the discussions.
Yeah, it's a nice way of putting it.
But people often say it in a jesting way. Like you ride past them and, you're cheating.
Yeah.
And I'll even say myself that, excuse me, I'm in cheat mode as I ride past people.
Yeah. Does it bother you at all, that kind of side of the attitude towards e-bikes, or do you literally not care?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's if people say you're cheating. I mean, what am I cheating at? You can't cheat at having fun. So,
in the woods, yeah.
I mean, if I'm riding an e-bike in a competition where everyone else is riding normal bikes, which hence why they don't have e-bikes in non-e-bike races, and they have an e-bike specific category. But there's a lot of I don't really understand a lot of the things that people say about them, like causing erosion and things, and it's basically a normal bike, but you've just got some pedal assistance.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people probably confuse them with the
Like the Surron bikes.
electric motocross bikes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's just a game changer. I think as it shows, because how many people are getting e-bikes.
Yeah. Oh, they're way more popular. Yeah. When you're out and about, you'll always see, it's probably 50-50. I think the people I see around here on unpowered bikes or powered bikes, like it is a real split between the two.
Yeah. I mean, even like the erosion thing. I remember your thing about when you say about the people who complain about things, but they've got gears and they've got disc brakes and things.
Yeah.
I mean, even the people saying it causes more erosion, but I mean, my weight combined with the extra 10 kilos that the bike weighs, is probably on par with someone who's bigger and heavier than me on a lighter weight bike. So I mean, it's there's only a fraction in it, and I can't imagine that fraction of weight difference.
Yeah, no, I agree. Making all the difference. Yeah. I think it's how you ride it as well, isn't it? Because I think not necessarily just an e-bike, any bike. Like if you head to a trail centre and shroud every corner and drag your brakes and make an absolute mess, then that's going to tear up the trails way more than an e-biker riding properly, shall we say, or respectfully. Yeah. No, I think they're great. I'm always jealous when I'm out. There's a local wood that I ride, Copley Woods, and that's got a really steep climb just out the middle, and it takes about 20 minutes to get from the bottom to the top, and it's just a slog. It's boring, and then I'll always hear that in the background, and they go flying past at 15 mile an hour. Like, God damn it, I'm jealous.
Yeah, because I mean, when I got back into mountain biking on this little hardtail, I'd only be able to do like 3. There's like a nice little track down near where I live. And it's quite it's not only a short but steep ride back up, but I'd only managed to do like 3 runs max. Yeah, got it. And I'd be knackered and have to ride back home. But e-bike, I've since used like a full battery's worth and done like 20 to 30 runs. And even fitness wise, a lot of people say that they don't want one because they like the fitness aspect of riding, but like doing 3 runs of being knackered versus doing 30 runs is 30 runs. And so I mean, as well, it's up to you how much assistance you give yourself. Maybe you can even turn it off and have a more difficult ride than you would have on a normal bike.
I think as well, for people who have kids and have businesses, it means that you can get out, you can come over and just have a ride, and we can ride together, and nobody's worried about fitness levels. It's just you rock up and ride, can't you? It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm probably on the wrong podcast here because I've never been into the fitness aspect of mountain biking. I should be on MTB Funness. But I mean, I'm quite slender, and I'm one of those metabolisms that I'm quite lucky in that I end up losing weight by not not doing anything. So I've always wanted more of a strength workout, and that's kind of what I get from the e-bike, because you're doing more of you're getting more downhill runs in, and you're not doing like your spin class on your uphills. So got you. I'm not worried about burning too many calories. No, that makes perfect sense. No, I think they're wicked. I think they're really good. I think they're only going to continue growing, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the only downside for mine is it's a fairly old one, and the reliability is kind of always in the back of my mind. Because you can get quite far in them. The last thing I want is it to pack in when I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Of course.
Because mine, if I wash it, it sometimes takes it a while to then turn back on.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to go through a puddle in the middle of nowhere.
I've had it all to bits and put, dielectric grease or something on all connectors and things.
Right. Okay.
You often have to give it a good blast with air to completely dry it out before it likes to turn on again. So,
right.
But I think these days they are a bit. They are a bit more reliable.
They must be getting better every year. Aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, mine's one of the older ones where you've still got the battery connected to the frame, like the big, looks like a 2-liter bottle of Coke on your on your frame. They're all integrated now, and they look very similar to like normal.
Yeah, they do, just slightly chunkier, aren't they? Yeah, got you. So to finish on, I thought it might be nice to hear, if you can say, what's next for Odyssey. So what can we expect from Odyssey over the next 6-12 months?
Well, I guess YouTube people can have a preview of one of these.
Oh, nice! You got a fleece on right now.
Yeah, this is it's based on the tech hoodie, but using a fleece fabric.
Oh, okay.
So the idea behind this one is just to see if it how well it does in other aspects of like general outdoorsy
Okay.
clothing as opposed to primarily biking related.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's holding this back is that it's some of these sizes that's missing at Amazon.
Oh,
So
right.
I'm just waiting for
typical.
the rest of the stock.
Oh, no. So
before
you got half
launching.
of them in and need the rest.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Nightmare.
But these will be launching soon. And then I've got another concept that I've always had in mind right from start. I guess I'll share that. It's always been like my little secret thing is it's another trousers concept. I like to like said to people that 4-legged trousers because it gives people what are you talking about? But so you get trousers with zip off legs.
Yeah.
And your general outdoorsy trousers are generally straight legged, whereas for more active wear, biking and other climbing and workouts, you tend to have the tapered legs.
Yeah.
So my idea is to make a set of trousers with zip off lower legs, but supplying with 2 sets of lower legs. So you've got your straight legs for general casual wear, outdoorsy hiking wear, and then you can swap them over to your tapered legs so you've got like 3-in-1 trousers.
That's
so
a really good idea.
Wear them as shorts, more active trousers, or straight legged.
That's a great idea. And for people who maybe go camping or go up to the lakes for a weekend and want to do both riding and hiking with 1 pair of pants or 2 pair of pants, you can do the 2 then, can't you?
Yeah, I mean that's the idea.
That's a really cool idea. I don't think that exists, does it?
I don't think so, no. And
wow.
and my favourite bit is because it's based on Odyssey, and a name for them is the Centaur trousers, as in Centaur is in the half man, half horse, 4 legs, 4 sets of legs.
Yeah.
So I've done my tech pack and I've sent that over to manufacturer and they're making a sample. I've already had 3D renders, so I might be able to send some pictures to
that'd be cool
on screen or something.
That'd be good.
Should look like.
Nice, you'll have to send them through.
Nice stretchy fabric, and so that's been fun developing these right from an idea into a sketch. Getting fabric samples and then seeing them brought to life with this 3D render, and then next step is to get them made as an initial sample.
Right, well, that's a really good idea. I've never heard of that, but that makes perfect sense for people who sort of cross sports. And as well, a pair of riding trousers or a pair of walking trousers are expensive to buy, aren't they? So if you can buy 1 instead of 2, someone can wear on the Saturday this week, they can go riding in them, then next week they can go hiking in them instead. Yeah,
I mean, so that's an idea I've had right from the start. I've wanted the brand to kind of like grow big enough to be able to push them. And I think ideally, I should really wait a bit till the brand's a bit bigger to be able to push it a bit more. But I'm too excited to to develop them. But I've been kind of keep that kind of secret in case anyone steals it.
That's a good idea. On the flip side, I hear what you're saying. The bigger audience you've got, the more people you've got to sell them to. But then on the flip side, you may find that it gets picked up by certain outlets or whatever and advertised with it being that bit different.
Yeah, with it being sort of fairly unique, I think it could potentially be, depending on ads and things, it could.
Yeah. You can definitely see that in MB UK and different places, can't you? In outdoor magazines and that kind of thing, just because it is different.
Yeah, hopefully.
People are always interested in different things, and you would think there's not that many different things you can get with clothing, but that is something different.
Yeah, and like the whole 4-legged trousers thing, I've always had that in mind as like a hook that kind of makes people think, what?
Yeah, it is, because when you said it, I was like, what?
If you see that as like some sort of Facebook ad and it comes up about it, so this is what kind of stuff all floats around in my head.
No, I get it. It makes perfect sense. I like it.
So that's they should be, well, how long they'll take, because it's only initial stages, but
of course.
I'm excited to
hopefully no one will nick your idea in the meantime. So. That's a really good idea. I like it. I'll tell you what I do want to ask you then, for my final question, I have asked you before, but I can't remember your answer. Why Odyssey? Why is it called Odyssey Activewear?
Well, funnily enough, because of my Spoon Graphics, I initially just used name Spoon Activewear.
Because that's your last name.
Yeah, Spooner, but it was rubbish, so I thought, I can't use that. So I'll just, I started looking for like inspiration and typed in like adventure synonyms, and Odyssey came up, and I thought, Odyssey is quite a good, because not only 'cause it sounds like a cool word, but also it's got like that ancient Greek theme to it, so that can come into branding. But also the meaning of it is like a long and arduous journey, or like an epic adventure, and that kind of ties into like your long hikes or your long rides and things. And it's also kind of tied into the growing the brand's kind of turned into an odyssey in itself.
Yeah, that's very true.
So it's and then all the various product names that have come from it, like the Cyclops sunglasses and
So was that last bit an accident? The Cyclops glasses and the naming. Did you think when you thought of Odyssey and thought, oh, that'd be good, and then I can name these products that? Or was that? Did you think that from the beginning?
Yeah. Well, it's just as I saw the word Odyssey, then that kind of like branched off into that can relate to that, and I can use this for that, and do these sort of graphics, and and then the whole logo came from that, as in like the Odyssey Activewear OAW kind of created like an icon with the O and the A and the W, which kind of looks like a mountain scene.
Perfect. I've never even noticed that. I mean, you don't necessarily study a logo, do you? But I never noticed that was what it was. That's really cool.
And then that's also, so I've got that. I've then extended that on some of the designs. So like the caps, I've got a little badge that you've got the little logo, but then you've got the surrounding area. So you've got the mountains that are then continued.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
That's really cool. Oh, it's exciting to see what else there'll be. Oh, cool. That's been really cool. It's been fascinating listening to it all. And I know we've chatted about stuff, but it's nice to dive in a little bit deeper into it. So for everybody listening, they want to check you out at odysseyactivewear.com.
Yep, that's right.
Is that right? So odysseyactivewear.com. I'll put a link in the description below wherever you're listening or watching this, and then you can click straight through. Definitely go and buy some of that kit because it's cool stuff.
Thank you.
Well, thanks very much for coming on. Cheers, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.